This is what I look like when I'm editing photos. Literally like gonna go work out, no makeup, hair in a bun, you know, just editing mode Kelly. Anyways, today is a Photoshop tutorial. It's really quick and easy. Basically, it's how you can put two photos in Photoshop together and merge the elements of the photos that you want. We call this a composite photo. So how you take two photos that you like and you use one part of one and one part of another and composite them together. So let's get into it. Setup. Okay, I know when I was going to be doing Photoshop, I probably would have done everything on my laptop. I have my feed plan in here and I'm using the Lightroom mobile app. I have this photo here, okay, and basically, so I want to be able to showcase the lighter blue. So the blue of the water right now is really light and I want it to be more blue and not so washed out. Basically, I go into color. And to control the blues, I'm using the luminance. So when I bring the luminance down, it brings the watercolor back, but it makes my shorts really dark and it makes the sky really dark. Like I just want to be able to control the water. And so I bring up the saturation. So like that color in the water is looking so much better, but my shorts are just too dark and the sky is too dark. Now I could go into the selective tool, and try and control things up here with this, or I can go and use the radial tool and try and control things down here. But it's not the same because when you use the gradient mask or the radial mask, not controlling the specific color. So this is a difference that Lightroom on the desktop has, is when you can do selective masks and use the eyedropper and pick a specific color. So this is where I could go into using that in Lightroom, but today I'm going to use this as an opportunity to show you how to do a composite photo in Photoshop. So now that I have, so basically what I did was I've saved this photo to my phone with that has the blue that I want from the ocean, and then let's go back to the original one. Okay, so here's the original one, and then I saved and exported this photo with the shorts and the sky how I want and exported that. So we will go into my photos. So I have them here, so I am just going to airdrop them to my MacBook. Here we go. I airdropped the photos over here, so I'm going to open them up in Photoshop. Okay, so I have the first one in there. So now I'm going to drag the second photo and I'm just going to drag it into Photoshop as a layer on top of this one. So let's try and do that. Okay, so now I have my second photo. Let's select check, and so that it will commit to adding the photo. Okay, so we have, this is, I'm going to rename these. So this is the ocean color. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate the background just because in case I need it. I always leave the base photo there, but I duplicate it just in case I need to edit something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the ocean color one, the one that's on top. So if we hide it, we can see the other one on the bottom. It's the exact same photo. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go over and use the quick selection tool. Use the quick selection tool. I'm going to use the bracket tool to increase the size. You can use the left bracket tool to decrease the size. I'm going to use the right bracket tool, increase the size. I'm going to start selecting the area around me and where the ocean is. And so to get the minus arrow, you're going to press the Option key on the keyboard, and you see that turns into a little minus. So there's a little bit there. Okay, so there, now I have my selection. And just really quick, oh, let's not get this part. Use the Option. Okay, So now that I have my selection, I'm going to create a layer mask from this selection. So I don't advise ever erasing parts of a photo because then you lose the data. What's better is to use a layer mask. So you want to use a layer mask because when I use a layer mask on this image, so when I hit the layer mask, it's going to mask everywhere that the selection is not. So it's going to display only where I've selected on this layer. So when I do that, this information is all still there. So I can go and take the paintbrush tool, and black is going to erase and white is going to color back in. So make sure you have your layer mask selected. I'm going to make it bigger using brackets, bigger, so you can see you can literally paint on the layer mask and it comes back into focus. So I haven't lost the information. I'm not erasing it, I'm not copying and pasting it, using the layer mask because the data is still there. So that is definitely a good best practice because you never know later when you want to go back into a file that you might need that information if you've done any editing on the photo in Photoshop. So I just think it's the best practice. So let's go and clean up. So it looks pretty good. It's a little not clean, so we're gonna go kind of come and fix it. So I'm going to change this brush to a soft brush, not with a hard edge, and I'm gonna go in and just like start painting. So the leaves really aren't any different, so I actually can include, if these leaves were not another color, we'd want to select this different way, but this is a pretty easy demo here for us to do. You can see that it doesn't really change the colors. You want to look out for, you don't want these harsh lines here. Like harsh lines like this shows that you Photoshop this image. You don't want that. So you want to go and use the soft brush and you want to make things look real as possible. It's sort of like painting. So I need to go fix, see how this hole is white and this hole is blue? We want to fix that. So let's go and make everything nice and even, and I can get a bunch of the tree here, the palm tree that was here. Because the blue, I only changed the blue in the photo, so it doesn't really change that green. So this line is harsh line. So here's another little trick. You can select an area over here. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to tap over here and it's going to draw a straight line from me. Look how nice that looked. So you literally just select over here. So tap with your brush, like you're making a brush stroke. Hold down the shift key and tap where you want the straight line of the brush to go, over here, and boom, straight line. So see how it's not rough edged anymore? So let's go and just paint a little bit right there to really blur it out. That's why we use this, this brush tool and not the hard edge brush tool. So things feel nice and blended, they feel nice and natural. And you can still see that I'm super crisp around my head, which is great. So let's just go and blend a little bit more of the sky up here. And then we should be pretty much good to go. This is a really quick tutorial on how to composite these two images. So I'm just checking in everything. Everything looks pretty good. So let's zoom out. So wow, look at that. Like now we can see the watercolor, but we don't have this super dark sky and we don't have this super dark jean shorts. So look at the difference. That was it before without the composite. So everything's really washed out, but I like how this is. I like how the sky is. And I put this back in and it really adds in the color. Now when I do that, I kind of see maybe I want to add in a little more of the sky right there. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to reduce the opacity down to like 25%. I'm going to make it a little bigger. So the bigger I make it with this, it's going to have a gradient towards the edge. Let's do that just to make sure it looks super duper blended. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to erase and do the same thing. I'm just trying to create like a nice gradient across the sky. So I don't want to, oh, this is what I want to do. I want black. So the opacity is only at 25%, so it's not going to be 100%. I'm going to move back up So I sort of want to like see that's a little too light. I should like the edge. I want it to really go into the distance. There we go. So I kind of went in, if you see over here, I kind of went into it here because I really want it to feel like it's fading into the distance. And then I'm gonna go here to the opacity and just reduce it just a little bit. And that's gonna kind of blend. So if I reduce it all the way, it goes away. So I'm just going to bring the color back just slightly. This part right here is bothering me. So I'm gonna go reduce the opacity down to 20-something% and just kind of like color that part. So I'm taking away some of the layer mask there. There we go. That really blends it. That is so much better. I'm gonna up the opacity again. Really getting that color pop. There we go. Now look how much better that looks. Wow. There we go. So that's how you quickly do a composite photo. You're literally just blending them. This one, it's not going to work in where you need to get super detailed about it, but for just a really simple one, you can do a simple composite. This is a great way to get your feet wet with starting to use Photoshop more and doing composite photos to really make sure you're getting the photo you want, and learning the tools of Photoshop. It's a really powerful program. I don't suggest using it for coloring your photos unless you're really transforming them. I like to use Photoshop because it's a lot quicker and easier than trying to like figure it out on an app. You can get so much more detailed than using an app like PixArt, which I do like for adding graphics in, but this is just, you know, the professional standard. It keeps the high resolution quality of all of your images, so it's another good reason why to use Photoshop for them. It's just maintaining all of the integrity of the image by keeping it in the same file size. So I'm just going to export the photo now and prepare for Instagram, and then we're good to go. Well, please give a thumbs up. Comment any questions. If you want to see any other type of tutorials from me, leave a comment below. If you're not already following me, follow me on Instagram, and we'll have some more tutorials coming your way.